Hello and welcome back, I'm the Chronophile, and I just want to start off this video by saying a big thank you to everyone that watched my first video on the Rolex day date. I think we're on 37,000 views right now on that, not that I'm counting. But big thank you to everyone that watched that video and everyone that commented. Please keep the comments coming in, loving all the comments, especially from the trolls complaining about it being a box review. For you guys, I got something very special coming, so stay tuned. But for today, we're just going to do a review about the Rolex Daytona, and more importantly for you guys, how to buy one. So I'm just going to go straight ahead and do a quick unbox. For you guys who are as passionate about the box as I am, you're more than welcome to go watch my previous video about the Rolex day date, where there's a comprehensive review of the Rolex box. I'm just going to lift the lid, and there it is. So this is the Rolex Daytona with the ceramic bezel, the 116500 LN, that's the reference number. And this one replaced the 116520, I think it was, 2 years ago. And realistically speaking, if you have a look at the watch, the only real difference that you'll be able to notice between the two is the difference in the bezel. So this one's got the ceramic bezel, and the previous 116520 had the steel bezel. Now with these watches, people usually buy them just because of the name and because they look good. But like with most Rolex watches, this one also has a use, a purpose. This particular watch named after the Daytona 500 in America, which is a car race event. This is used for lap timing. So if you have a look closely, we can see that you've got the two pushes here, and then you've got the crown here. So these pushes, if I just turn them anti-clockwise fully, come all the way out, see there. And you press this in, and you can see the chronograph hand moves around. So you've got the three sub-dials here, you've got the seconds there, you've got the 30-minute marker there, and the 12-hour marker on the left. And as that goes round, once it gets to the 12 again, this right-hand sub-dial will move 1 minute to 29. We're going to leave this on as I'm talking about it. And then once you're finished with using these, you should always turn them anti-clockwise fully to make sure that the watch is waterproof. Last thing you want is to leave them open and get them water, and then the whole watch is ruined. And this bottom pusher here, this is used for resetting the lap timer. So as it goes round, we're just going to wait for it to go around and then click it in. And then around the bezel here, you can see that they've got markers which helps you determine kilometers an hour. So it's used to work out speed. And as this just goes to 12, you'll see that this right sub-dial will move by 1, which signifies it's been 1 minute. So if we just open this back up again and stop it, and then open this up and just reset, you see that the 30-minute marker is reset to that 30, and the chronograph hand is right back to the 12 again. So just close them. Again, it's very important that you make sure that they're both closed, as well as the crown, just to make sure that the watch is waterproof. This particular watch is waterproof, I think 200 meters, 330 feet. And in terms of, I think the power reserve on this particular piece, all Daytonas, the new ones, is 72 hours, which is slightly more than the GMT Master 2, which I've got on here. This particular watch has a 48 hour, whereas this one has 72. And if you have a look on the side profile of these watches, you can see that the GMT Master 2 is a lot thicker, and this with the Daytona as well. You've got everything is exactly the same in terms of like the bracelet. So you've got the sports clasp here, which opens up like so, which is all on all steel sports models, which is the same as this one. And it's got the oyster bracelet on this. This particular one has got all the factory seals still on, just slightly hanging off there. In terms of buying this piece, the retail price in the UK now is £9,100, but I think by the time we get this video out, the price of this will have increased. I think we're looking about February time, to be honest, start of February maybe, which is when they usually do their price increases. And that's really because we're still the cheapest place to buy a Rolex in the world, I think. And compared to Europe, I think we're about 13% cheaper. So there's a lot of watch tourism in the UK right now. A lot of people coming from abroad, which makes it even harder for the people in the UK to get a Rolex. either one. Especially with the steel sports models, very, very difficult to get a hold of anyway, and it makes it even harder when people coming from abroad to put their names down. But in terms of getting one of these pieces, realistically speaking, most dealers have closed their list on this particular piece. They only reserve them for their loyal clients, people who've bought 3, 4, 5 watches off them in the past. I mean, some of them may put your name down. I've heard anything between 5 years and 20 years. That's mainly because of the supply. Realistically, I mean, Rolex give, I think most dealers get maybe maximum realistically 2 a year. So obviously to be able to be at the top of those lists, you're going to have to be quite a important client with whichever dealership it is that you're going with. In terms of which dealership to go with, realistically, I'd probably say Goldsmiths, just because they've got, well, to be honest, with anyone within the Orum group is probably a good shout. The more independent jewelers that are still Rolex authorised dealers, much more difficult to get hold of, and their allocations aren't as much. But yeah, I'd probably say like Goldsmiths, Watches of Switzerland. But the best chance of getting one of these watches, realistically, if you want to get one in the near future, is to purchase a few other watches. Rolex, obviously, they've made this watch extremely exclusive. They did the same thing with the previous Daytona, and they're doing it for a reason, because everyone wants this particular piece, so they kind of direct people onto their other pieces. For example, like the Cellini range now, which is getting a lot of marketing. And to be honest, if you to buy a Cellini or even a Tudor, a lot of the times I've heard at some places, if you to buy a Tudor or even the Cellini watches, you do get preference on a steel piece. Maybe not the Daytona, maybe like a GMT Master 2, which is slightly easy to get hold of. But again, with these ones, with the GMT Master 2, you're looking at minimum a year, but anywhere up until 5 years I've heard as well. And on the grey market, now I think they're still going for very high prices, like 13,000, which is still, what, 4,000 over list almost. So, I mean, the best chance of really getting one of these watches is to kind of build that loyalty with a brand and go from there. Other than that, I think the only advice I can give you really is to just kind of stay on the list and hope for the best. I mean, the easiest, well, not the easiest, but the most likely places to get them are places without lists. There are places that don't do a list system, and they do just get the watch in and it goes in the window and it is sold usually within a couple of days, just by people popping in and finding it. If you are as lucky as that, then fair play, but again, that is like gold dust to come across. What I would say to these watches, it doesn't harm to go elsewhere. I wouldn't, in terms of sort of Europe, I wouldn't go over there specifically for the watch. Maybe if you're over there, pop in and ask. It's worth a try. But again, very, very hard to get a hold of, especially the white dial. The black dial is still hard to get a hold of, but I think the white dial is more popular. A lot of people like it better. They like the contrast between the sub dials and the white dial. But yeah, not the best of news for everyone, but if you want one of these watches in the next year, realistically speaking, you're going to have to go through a grey market dealer. The prices for these ones now, I think they're going for between 13 to 16,000. If you're paying anything less than 12, it's not a bad deal, and the value is always going to be there, so it's probably worth a try. But if you really can wait, then I'd suggest waiting and buy one at retail, because you're never ever going to lose the value on these. They're always going to be exclusive. Rolex is not going to turn around one day and just be like, yep, we're going to mass produce these and just start dishing them out, and they'll be in stores left, right and centre. They will always be hard to get a hold of. So it might be worth trying your luck there. In terms of the finding one that's stickered, you're going to find it quite difficult. A lot of people, when they buy one of these watches, especially from authorised dealers, they do it to flip. I mean, the money is there. You're paying 9,100 at one of these at retail, and you're getting, well, like I said, anywhere between that 12.5 or 13 to 16,000. You're making 3,000 minimum on a watch, and for most people, they're happy to do that. But I mean, for those of people who actually like the watches, obviously, you want to get them at retail anyway. But With the stickers situation, you're not going to get it. You're rarely going to get a dealer who's going to give you one without the stickers on. Apparently, a lot of them have a policy now of removing the stickers. This has apparently come down from Rolex. Not entirely sure. Don't know whether it's a dealer policy or a Rolex policy. But it's come down from whoever to say that all the stickers have to be taken off on steel models to prevent people from reselling them. It doesn't stop you from reselling them. I mean, you can, but it just kind of reduces the value of the watch. Personally, when I buy a watch, I prefer to have all the stickers on, not because I'm a flipper. This particular piece I've got on now, I mean, it's a little bit dirty. You can see I've got the stickers on. I've had this GMT Master 2 for over a year now, and I just keep the stickers on until they fall off, to be honest. It keeps the watch in a pristine condition. And when you buy something new, you expect it to be new realistically, but when you buy one of these watches, you'll have that argument with the authorized dealer, but more than likely they will take them off. So just be warned. But other than that, yeah, please like, share, subscribe, comment. Please let me know what other watches you want me to review, if any. If you want more box reviews, more than happy. But yeah, thanks for watching.